Hey, what's up? This your girl, Bright Eyes. I'm sharing another video with you. I felt compelled to share this message. The reason why I'm talking about California because I believe California is going to fall in the ocean. I listen to these prophets. I will leave a clip of some of these prophets who prophesied years ago about this event taking place. And before I talk more into that, I just want y'all to know California is the third largest GDP, gross domestic product, in the world. And also, California banned you from buying Bible. If you live in the state of California, you cannot buy a Bible in that state. That being said, God never tell us the time or day, but He give us the signs on when He's going to do something. And one of the signs were before this devastating earthquake happened, um, California is going to go through these unprecedented storms that they're going through right now. After these storms end, that's when they're going to have the big earthquake, the 9.0 earthquake. So if you are listening to my video and you live in California, if you have the opportunity to get out, leave. If you can't move out of California, give your life to Jesus. Okay? Because it's just a matter of when before that state go in the water. Um, Half of California will go in the ocean, and when this happens, you won't be able to live there. It will be uninhabitable to live in California, even if you survive the earthquake. It won't be, the state won't exist no more because it will be uninhabitable to live there. Um, it's going to be the next big 9/11 that's going to happen. So if you can leave California, give your life to Jesus. And if you have the opportunity to leave, I would say get out right now.
Is California due for what they always call the big one?
You know, as you are talking about earthquakes, I heard the Holy Spirit say this. The next earthquake that will strike California will make the 1906 San Francisco earthquake look like child's play. Hundreds of angels lining along the coast of California, even right to the top, and they all had a sledgehammer in their hands. They all have been stationed, and they are waiting. The one that I met at the Los Angeles airport was the captain overseeing that destruction. So
You saw it?
Yes, I saw him. He was the one who spoke to me.
What did he say?
That this land, this state will be devastated by a massive earthquake. At that time, I did not know anything about the San Andreas fault. I know nothing about it. So I spoke this and said that this is going to happen. A few months later, Hollywood released a movie called The San Andreas Fault.
Yes.
We saw.
We
And
saw it.
when I saw the movie, I was shocked that the exact place where the earthquake takes place in the movie was the exact spot where the angel showed me the earthquake is going to happen. Hollywood could not reproduce in exact manner the great devastation that's going to take place.
So it is going to be great devastation.
Very great. Very great. You know, they say the 1906 San Francisco earthquake was the greatest in US history. If that is going to be like child's play, can you imagine how great and destructive this will be?
Is this devastation God's judgment?
Yes.
There is an earthquake that has been predicted to devastate California, meaning skyscrapers are going to fall. The shape of the United States will change after that earthquake, but that won't happen till after there's a storm. A major storm is going to come to California. It's either a hurricane of incredible force or it is a storm of incredible force. but a great hurricane or incredible force is going to come to California, and the earthquake that destroys it will not happen until after that takes place. So there's a way of saying, okay, I have time, but that doesn't mean there won't be an earthquake tomorrow of 7.5, or next week or 2 weeks from now of some magnitude. But I'm talking the one that changes the shape of California, where you don't want to live in California, anywhere in California when that happens, or perhaps even on most of the West Coast, where an inland ocean is formed, and Baja becomes an island, and the mouth of the inland ocean forms between San Diego and Los Angeles. That isn't going to happen before that storm comes, and so that is a sign that God is giving to the people. Don't worry about that big one. Because this sign will happen first. So there's a lot of things getting ready to happen. Did that answer your question, Michael?
Morning, the death toll is expected to rise from the catastrophic parade of storms slamming California. The unrelenting weather has dumped 36 inches of rain on parts of the state since Christmas, killing at least 17 people. 2 recent deaths were from lightning strikes, and a boy remains missing after floodwaters swept away his mother's car.
We've had less people die in the last 2 years of major wildfires in California that have died since New Year's Day related to this weather.
Now, forecasters warn the storms will continue for at least another week, with, quote, enormous cyclone poised to bring up to 10 more inches of rain to Northern California in the coming days. In the Santa Cruz area, this tree was ripped from the saturated ground and fell across a highway. And east of San Francisco, the entire community of Planada has evacuated because of rising floodwater. In Southern California, Pasadena police say this driver of this Tesla lost control in the rain, slamming through a wall and into a pool. 2 teachers at a nearby school saw the crash and rescued the driver. Emergency crews had to pull a woman and a girl to safety after 2 vehicles ended up falling into this massive sinkhole. Another sinkhole in Santa Barbara County damaged 15 homes.
Hey, you missed the spot.
At Union Station in Los Angeles, golf carts were needed to shuttle passengers from the flooding. And speaking of golfing, these golfers got a little too close to the ocean at Pebble Beach.
You're gonna hit us, dude.
They were forced to run for cover from a massive wave.
Go, go.
Heavy rain and high winds hammered California's central coast overnight, triggering mudslides and forcing road closures. Authorities near San Francisco say 1 person was injured after a tree fell on this Tesla. Up to 8 more feet of snow could fall in the Sierra Nevada mountains, where homes and businesses were buried in recent storms. The California National Guard and CAL FIRE have been dropping hay to cattle down below who are stranded in the snow. And at this school, the gym's roof collapsed under all that weight. People are now rushing to clear their roofs before the storm adds more weight to the snow.
Rain on top of snow can make it up to 10 times heavier, and some of the most significant accumulations in this region are expected for just these communities. It's why authorities are telling me there is major concern for flooding and additional roof collapses.
In Southern California, the death toll is expected to rise after back-to-back blizzards devastated mountain communities east of Los Angeles. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Office now says at least 13 people have died since the first storm.
Some of these people have been homebound for 11 days. They've run out of food. They, in some cases, don't have power. They don't have their own generators.
The atmospheric river hitting California will move east into the weekend, threatening the Rockies, increasing the avalanche danger. In Utah, authorities say 1 person was killed and another injured in an avalanche yesterday. It comes as forecasters track a different storm system, bringing more than 6 inches of snow to the Chicago area, moving through Detroit and Cleveland today and into the Northeast tonight.
Northern and central California are bearing the brunt of this storm. Rivers are overflowing their banks, roads have been washed out, and residents are being rescued after being trapped by the floodwaters. At least 2 people have died as a direct result of the storm. 25 million people are under flood alerts. Thousands more are without power tonight.
A state of emergency now in effect in 34 California counties because of the relentless rain and snow.
Right back there with all that crying, right in the middle of it. My eardrums felt as they were going to burst, noise everywhere, people falling down, some of them badly hurt, pieces of buildings, chips flying in the air. One hit me hard on the side of the face, but I didn't seem to feel it. I wanted only to wake up to get away from that place. It had been fun in the beginning, the first dream, when I kind of knew I was going to dream the end of the world or something, but this was terrible. There were older people in the cars. Most of the kids were on the street. But those old guys were screaming and hollering as if anybody could help them. Nobody could help them. It was then I felt myself lifted up. Maybe I had died, I don't know, but I was over the city. It was tilting toward the ocean like tilting a picnic table. The buildings were holding better than you could believe. They were holding. They were standing. The people who saw the buildings and they tried to cling to them or get inside, it was fantastic. Like a building had a will of its own. Everything else breaking around them, and they were holding. I was up over them looking down. I started to root for them. Hold that line. I said, hold that line, hold it. I wanted to cheer, to shout, to scream. If the buildings held, those buildings on the boulevard, maybe the girl with the 2 kids, maybe she could get inside. It looked that way for a long time, maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes was like forever. Everybody was trying to get inside. They were going to hold. You knew they were going to hold, even if the waters kept coming up. Only they didn't. In 1937, they did not have building codes to satisfy earthquake. Now they do. Most of the buildings in Los Angeles now have been built to withstand earthquakes. And this boy had this dream about these buildings before they ever put that code in effect. He said, I've never imagined what it would be like for a building to die. A building dies just like a person that gives way. Some of the bigger ones did just that. They began to crumble like an old man with palsy who couldn't take it anymore. They crumbled right down to nothing. And the little ones screamed like mad over and above the roar of the people. They were mad about dying, but the buildings died. I couldn't look anymore at the people. I kept wanting to get higher. I kept willing myself to go higher. Then I seemed to be out of it all, but I could see. I seemed to be up on top of Big Bear near San Bernardino. But the funny thing was that I could see everywhere. I knew what was happening. The earth seemed to tremble again. I could feel it though, even though I was up high. This time it lasted maybe 12 seconds and it was gentle. You couldn't believe anything so gentle could cause so much damage. But then I saw the streets of Los Angeles and everything between the San Bernardino Mountains and Los Angeles. It was all tilting toward the ocean. Houses, everything that was left. I could see the big lanes, dozens of big lanes, still loaded with cars. 5 lanes in some places, and all the cars sliding in the same way. No freeways in 1937. No 5-lane streets, 1937. Now the ocean